If you've ever done a double take when you saw a sign that said free pile of dirt, please hit that like button. Welcome to the Reinigen Lawns YouTube channel. Hopefully this is the first of many. My name is James Fritz. I'm the owner of the company. We're a landscaping business operating in New York. And I know there's not a lot of YouTubers out there who show off what a New York landscaping business is all about. So I figured I'd take you guys on a ride with us to show you what it's all about. This is one of our residential properties. It's one of our new properties. We've only been doing it for a few weeks actually, and as you can see, there's a little bit of some brown spots throughout the lawn. That's because the previous landscaper actually did some damage to the irrigation system, but thankfully we have since fixed that, so hopefully we can get the lawn back into some good shape. So as you can see, I'm on the 36-inch Wright stander mower here, and we primarily use Wright for our stand-on mowers. And then the gentleman who was weed whacking, his name is Shay. He is using a steel weed whacker. And then we also have a Toro push mower, which you'll see in and out throughout this video. That's being operated by our foreman, Josh. So a little bit of background about our business. We are first responder owned and operated, and a lot of people say, what does that mean exactly? So we're owned by which is myself, a firefighter and EMT, and so a lot of our guys are actually firefighters and EMTs. So I know that's a little uncommon for a landscape business, but we do it all volunteer. So those qualities of wanting to help the community and make sure that everyone in our neighborhood is happy and they like where they live translates very well to the landscaping industry. You can see right there just a little quick clip that you saw when I looked up. You saw that is our residential trailer setup. So if you can see, we have a pretty small trailer. So in New York, we try to keep things as compact as possible because parking on the streets is not the easiest thing. I'm sure many of you can imagine. So we keep things as small as possible so that way we can get in and out of places a lot easier. We primarily use a Ford F-250 for all of our trucks with a dump insert. So you'll see right there's our trailer. We've pretty much got it down to a science on making everything fit pretty well. So you see we got the weed whacker rack right there, and then if you saw, we had a toolbox in the back where we keep a lot of things, as well as a rack for some of our small stuffs like the hedge trimmer, things just pretty much that we use on a pretty regular basis. Anything we don't use on a regular basis, we don't keep it. I'm not a huge fan of why some landscapers will try to keep everything they own in one trailer, because it really just doesn't make sense and it just takes up unnecessary space. So you'll see that a landscaper pull up with this giant dual axle trailer, huge F550 dump truck, but they only take out a weed whacker out of the trailer. So right now you can see I'm just hitting some of the weeds that are growing out of the cracks with the steel weed whacker. We only use steel weed whackers. We have a total of 3 in the trailer at all times. 2 of which are just your standard weed whackers. Then we also run a steel Coyote, which has a pretty big engine. I don't know the exact horsepower off the top of my head. We're gonna do a detailed rundown of all of our equipment in another video. And you can see Shay here just weed whacking also with the same weed whacker. So the steel Coyote is great. I highly recommend it to a lot of landscapers, and it's one of those machines that's really underestimated. It can really get the job done in many different ways and take out the need for having multiple pieces of equipment in the trailer. So it has those detachable attachments on the front end, so from everything from a weed whacker to a bed redefiner, hedge trimmer, you name it, it pretty much can do the job, and it does a great job at it as well. So we love that machine since it solves the issue of trailer space, as well as fitting a lot of rolls while doing a great job at it. So we just gonna go ahead right here and just take care of some of the edges along this actually a little mini golf course that this customer has. It's a pretty cool backyard. It's got a little mini golf course right there. You can see the little putting holes, as well as a basketball court. So it's a pretty interesting material. Don't know what it is, but if you can see, it's kind of almost like a mesh, but it obviously can bounce a basketball pretty well on it. So if anyone knows what that is, leave a comment down below, because I'm very curious. So we're just banging out this weed whacking real quick, and then we're gonna switch over to the blower momentarily and just clean up some of the lines there just to make sure that looks good, and taking care of some of the weeds that are growing in the cracks. So yeah, it's a half-size court, pretty cool. And the actual shape of everything, all the beds, is pretty nice. So We recently actually just redid all the beds because there was actually no edge to them. The previous landscaper had kind of let the beds go into where the grass was and vice versa. So we're pretty much finishing up with the weed whacking here. Nice Japanese maple we got right there. Josh is taking care of making sure all the beds are turned over and looking nice. Now, me and Shay are both going to hop on some of our leaf blowers. You'll see now, this is our rack that we use to store our weed whackers. It's a buyer's rack. Highly recommend it. And then on our 36-inch right standard, we've pretty much tricked it out to have all the bells and whistles. So it's got a little garbage can on the front of it, which is great. So if you have a piece of garbage that's in the way real quick, just throw it in there so that way you don't have to fill up your pockets. And then that black bar that you see in front, it's actually something that's called a catcher keeper. It's our local distributor actually is the one who created it, and it holds the catch so that way you're not trying to carry it through the gates. It's a really great piece of equipment. So you see here we also got the buyer's backpack rack. So what we did was we actually welded them onto the tongue of our trailer, so then that way once again we can keep things as compact as possible and also make the most sense. So now we can go ahead and grab the blowers while they close up the trailer in the back, and then once we're done we just throw them right back on there and then we're ready to go. So we also got our water cooler there so the guys can stay hydrated, and also our traffic cones because some roads are a little dangerous, so we like to keep those on standby at all times. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this all cleaned up here. So we use Echo leaf blowers over steel. I know that we have a little all over the place with brands, but we like to not have all of our eggs in one basket, so we just pick what works best for us. I know some people prefer different brands, but we like Echo for our leaf blowers, steel for any of our small machines, whether that be hedge trimmers, weed whackers, and then Toro for our push mowers, and then Wright for our stand-on mowers. So a lot of pavers here, so we're just gonna get all those blown off, and we have this nice little porch right here with also the pavers. So while Josh is getting the beds finished up, so just get that mulch just put back where it belongs. And then also recently the neighbor actually right on the property line put in like a dry well, if you see the little grates there on the left. Not sure why entirely he did that. From what I was seeing, it wasn't very wet, so not entirely sure why he would have done that, but that's why the grass is ripped up there. So because he has like a whole pipe system going. It's interesting. Not really sure why he did that. So just going ahead and just finishing blowing off the property, just making sure everything looks clean and nice. Once again, we're back in the backyard. So, beautiful backyard. I know I've mentioned that already a couple of times, but it's definitely pretty interesting. Not something that you see at every property where they have a half-size basketball court and a little putting green. So just getting all the putting green and the basketball court cleaned off here, so that way we know when you're trying to putt a golf ball, it doesn't get hung up on anything. So got some nice hydrangeas here on the left, and then some back to some more arborvitaes. Arborvitaes are great for when you're looking for some height and also some privacy. You can see those arborvitaes all the way in the back right there. It's giving that nice privacy and that height. That's pretty much going to conclude everything. So we're just wrapping up on the blowing side right here, and that's pretty much it. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so that way you can see when we post next, and hopefully, like I said, there'll be one of many more to come. So I got some things planned for in terms of going over some of our equipment. So hopefully that we can help some of the new landscapers that are getting into the industry, because it's all about helping each other, and then maybe also show off some of our work. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys around.